All right, there's the audience. All right, it seems almost impossible these days to be a man of pure thoughts. The media, society just seem to flood our minds with racy images and sexually suggestive material. Believe it or not, achieving purity is possible. Several men I call brothers, including myself, are fighting and winning this battle right now. Filling your minds with sexually suggestive material and images may seem harmless, but I can assure you, in the long run, we become emotionally separated in our relationships with people and emotionally and spiritually separated in our relationships with God. But victory is available through Jesus Christ. During our time, I'd like to provide you with the following tools and understanding. First, a clear definition of what sexual impurity actually is. A positive mindset to win the fight, and the tools necessary for sexual purity. First of all, let's discuss what a clear definition of sexual purity actually is. Every Man's Battle author Steve Arterburn defines sexual impurity as any sexual gratification you receive from any place other than your wife. Exposing yourself to sexual images, thoughts, and habits separate you from not only your wife, but cause destruction in all areas of your life. If men continue in a lifestyle of sexual immorality, it becomes a slave master, and some men never escape. Secondly, you'll need a positive mindset to win this fight. A positive mindset will accomplish a whole lot more than we think when it comes to this battle. Rene Descartes, a famous philosopher, once said, "I think, therefore I am." Just believing and telling yourself you can be completely free from sexual immorality will help you establish a clear decision that you can win and be pure no matter what the cost. It's like ramming a stake in the ground and declaring your independence. Scripture is a very powerful tool and positive tool that you're definitely going to need to fight this battle, to fight off temptation. Simple verses like this: "I promise myself never to stare at a young woman with desire." From Job 31, verse 1. It tells yourself, I don't have the right. And it's having short Bible verses like these on hand that become quick, painful daggers to the enemy, Satan. And they'll help us stay focused and on track. Now, the tools necessary for purity. A line of defense and protection with your eyes is essential. It's the first line of defense. Without this basic starting point, the chances of sexual impurity and immorality and immoral behaving are slim and almost impossible. Viewing sexually explicit images in any form, the web, magazines, TV, and live, they have to end. This is accomplished by simply bouncing our eyes away from sensual things. Normal men who aren't sold out and don't have that defense in play, they just look at things, their eyes automatically bounce to the sensual. But with this, even though it takes time, a few days, maybe a couple weeks, it becomes second nature if you stay committed. A line of defense with our minds is the second thing that we need to have. Once we begin to control our eyes, our minds will automatically follow and have to follow for success. We're told in the Bible to control our thoughts and take captive any rogue thoughts that come against God. A helpful verse to have here to fight off temptation is 1 Corinthians 6, 18 through 20. "Flee from sexual immorality. You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your body." The more we tell ourselves this, the more it begins to kind of solidify in our hearts and our minds that we don't have the right. That's basically a paraphrase of that verse. I don't have the right. I don't have the authority. If we're to honor God with our bodies, we must control our eyes and our minds, realizing we don't have the right to think impure thoughts or view sensual images other than our wives. And the last line of defense is our hearts. God tells us in His Word to protect our hearts because they are our life. We can't very well accomplish that if we allow our minds to wander into sexual muck and our eyes to fall on anything we choose. By starving our eyes of sensual things and corralling our minds to keep them pure, our hearts begin to change as well. Once we think pure thoughts about women, we stop allowing them to become objects and we begin to see people who are precious. In conclusion, just a call to action. I challenge you to fight for sexual purity by first recognize what sexual purity is, balance your eyes, take thoughts captive, guard your heart. During our time, we've learned the clear definition of sexual impurity, positive mindset to win the fight, and the tools necessary. So to win this battle for sexual purity, I challenge you to practice and apply the tools with all your heart. I challenge you, even when the battle is calm, to be alert, recognize threats, and guard your heart.